Hey, laissez le bon temps rouler. Let the good times roll, y'all. Welcome to another Tuesday of Scotch on the Bayou. We are all in celebration mode. We have all kinds of things to celebrate, and I'm so glad everyone's here to join. I am laughing because I'm getting a text of one of our friends that's already in the chat, turnabout fair play and all that fun stuff. My friend, I cannot believe. So, uh, Drew Bills is in. I want to say hey to everybody, but while I've got that, while I know he's here, he's in his Tesla watching me on his TV, in his Tesla on his screen. And Mark and I used to like our Thursday night date was watching them on the Scotch Pour Dummy guys on our TV in the living room after dinner. So it all came around. So let's celebrate, but don't you celebrate, Drew, till you get home and have a dram. But no, goodness. Hey everyone, welcome to Tuesday. Every day you breathe in air is a day to celebrate, right? Am I right? So we want to talk a little bit about that, but I want to say hello to everyone who's here. Jimmy Jazz, friend, great to see you. And Loch Ness is here. Cheers to great people. All these folks are great. My honey, thanks for holding down the show and keeping me um, all cheerleaded. The guy is amazing, y'all. We'll talk a bit about how long he's been around here to celebrate. Um, but yeah, what are we celebrating this week? You know, that you survived a Tuesday. That's a viable reason, because it's only Tuesday and it's already felt like a week to me at work. I don't know about y'all. Goodness. But yeah, so we're celebrating something. So I don't know if you caught this, but Mark was talking about the water around our camp. For those who've been around and me on Instagram before, our camp flooded year before last, and the water, we've had a lot of rainfall this year already, and we've had some what the water come up, but not too bad. But this is not too bad. So let me just share this real quick before we get in here. This is the camp, and the river is in the yard. So to kind of give you an idea, this is the back of the camp, the back porch, and this would normally all be grass, which it is under the water. And then you would go this way. There's a buoy. I can't really blow it up any bigger than this, but then out of the frame, you would walk out to the river on a pier. Part of the pier is still above the water, some of it's kind of below the water. But the great news is it's crested and it's on its way down. So that's awesome. We're probably going to get a little bit more rain, but it won't be the 8 inches that we got in one day a couple of weeks ago. So we're looking pretty good there. Towards the front of the house, you'll see if you just make out the flag, and then you go to the left out towards the road. But this will kind of give you the idea. So from where that picture, the first picture was taken, this is where our friend Clay was standing, our camp neighbor, and that's the boathouse. So the boat is high and dry, ironically, right? And then this is over. It'll build. There you go. Let me pull out here just a little bit. So this is the approach. If you saw the Glenfiddich 15 camp dram I did, I was sitting on that step and made a joke about Scotch and water, not the kind I really liked, you know. That was the year that we flooded. And to give you an idea, here's the front door. The water got up to, halfway up the frame. So it actually came up under the flooring of the camp. We are high and dry here, y'all. We're okay. We're celebrating that. We're celebrating it with a dram of Signet. So we'll get into that. But yeah, more about the camp coming up on a future camp dram. So I'm excited to show you more about that. But yeah, so celebrations. Let's get back. I want to see who else is here. So when I say we're celebrating that we're high and dry, it's great. We worked for a year to redo everything in the camp. we have insurance for, a fire or something like that, major wind damage, but not for flood. So we're just dealing with that right now. Oh goodness, let's see. So Jimmy Jazz is killing off a Craig Alki 17. Oh, that's so good. Oh, that's such a good dram. Yum, yum, yum. So good. Yeah, there's my guy. Hey, Drew. Great to see you, man. And Martin. Hey, Slàinté, y'all. Good to see you, Martin. Thanks for being here. And Daniel's in. Hey, friend. So everybody kind of tell me what you're drinking tonight. And then this is going to be high participation night because I want to hear from you all about not only what you like to celebrate, event wise, but how would you match, what drams would you match with that celebration? Um, yeah, Martin, God love you. Celebrating the ice storm of Texas. A little Beaumont 18, lovely. And then some black art. I would say that's a home run celebration there. I don't miss ice storms in North Texas at all. At all, friend. You can book it in January and February. Y'all are going to get some ice. Um, so yeah, it has been a while, Daniel, but that's okay. It's what replays are for, and we all have, world and things going on in the world to get to. That's for sure. Cheers, everyone, y'all. Perfect. Hey, Stacy. So next Sunday, yes, I know the Super Bowl is there. Whatever. My teams aren't in it, so I'm like, whatever. I'm going to be on Stacy's show. Let me put her URL in there right now. Copy, and I'll post that in the chat. This woman knows her Irish, and she has sent me this gorgeous set that we're going to go through. It is Dirt Grain Irish. This absolutely gorgeous box. And then we are going to go through 4 drams. I mean, look how pretty. Look at the color. I'm so stoked about this. Absolutely gorgeous. So, Stacy, please feel free to put in all the details, time, and everything. I put the link to your channel. Go subscribe to her. You're going to learn more about Irish in a few videos than you've ever come across. So check her out for sure, for sure. But thanks for being here, friend. I appreciate it. Andrew Butler's here. Good morning to you, sir. And yes, all us Bayou Drammers. Big thanks. I really do appreciate it. When you see all these crazy emojis everywhere, those are our Camp Drammers, our members of the channel. Hey, Carlos, great to see you there too. Yeah, just be a part of that. Be a part of the fun. Help support the channel. It all goes through there. I really appreciate it. Hey, Chuck's in. Hey, Malt Minion. Good to see you, my friend. And Molasses too. Yay. And Dollar Pass. Man, we getting a big old crowd up in here. Awesome to see you. And Michael, hey, great. Yay. I really do want to see and hear from everybody on participation for sure. Drew, I'm looking good on the Tesla TV. I'm really glad. I need a haircut and to touch up my roots, but I'll take it. That's reason enough to celebrate, right? Oh, and George is here, y'all. You have to tell me what Artie's gonna celebrate with for sure. Oh my goodness, it's crazy, crazy, crazy. So, as I said, and I was talking about celebrations, lots of reasons to celebrate. Every day is a celebration, right? But here in South Louisiana, altogether, we know how to celebrate. Just in the coming weeks, this is what we have. Next week, Tuesday night, is Valentine's. So if you don't have a hot date, come here and we'll all have a Valentine dram. And I've got a special theme around that doesn't involve anything but your love of whiskey. So I'll leave it there. The week after that is Mardi Gras. So, I mean, we're going to have a Mardi Gras party up in here, you know? So we have those things to celebrate. And then after that, we're going to be celebrating 2 years of Scotch on the Bayou on YouTube. I cannot even believe it. We just hit 1,250 plus subscribers. Thank you again. But I'm really so stoked about the live shows. They're picking up steam. We're getting folks in. We're all getting to know each other, and I absolutely love that. So, with all that celebration coming up, I was plotting and planning all, February and March's shows. I'm thinking, man, that's a lot of celebration. And then it got me thinking, what bottles do we use, and what bottles do we go find, or how do we celebrate occasions with a particular Scotch? So that is why we have the theme that we do tonight. So, let's see. I wanted to go back. So Donner is killing a bottle of Campbelltown Lock Batch 3. I don't know what batch I had, but man, it was really, I really enjoyed that one. So Stacey celebrated a big accomplishment at work. That's a perfect example with a pour of Redbreast 27. Well, honey, I really hate that you didn't have, that subpar, a 27-year-old Redbreast. That's a very nice dram. Lovely. And congratulations on your big accomplishment. We have to pay for the whiskey somehow, right? And it's helpful when the people at work like us enough to let us kind of do that part. So Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So that would be 5 p.m. Central Time, my time. So I'm really stoked about that. Okay. So particularly Dirt Grain is the historic Irish whiskey mash bills. Oh gracious, of course. Oh, make me have to drink some whiskey, friend. Are you kidding me? What she doesn't know is she's going to be my guest for St. Patrick's Day show. So we make sure you get that on your calendar, friend. So looking at what those things are in the bottles, today particularly is a very big day in our family. I'm so happy to be able to say this, because this is a very, it's a big deal, because this doesn't happen. But my parents have been married 60 years today. 60. They were practically babies when they got married. Just shy of 19. I can't even imagine that in my own lifespan. Were, grown up to bring me into the world, 2 years later, just about. And just the idea that I'm so very blessed to not only have such great parents, but have my parents, and for them to have this great relationship and be a great example for 60 years. And they still like each other. They love each other, but they still like each other most days. But no. So I would like for everyone, if you would, to raise your glass. This is Signet, Glenmorangie Signet, and we'll talk a little bit about that in a minute. But I would like everyone to raise your glass to Larry and Marilyn, and a big old Slàinté y'all to Mom and Dad. They're having fun with my cousin Tootie and David on the coast and enjoying their time. Slàinté y'all, I love you, Mom and Dad. To many, many more years, we can all hope and pray. Thank you. I love you. Cheers. Wow. So let's talk about Signet. Let's see. And thanks for all that, y'all. For all the Larry and Marilyn Sanchez, they're freaking out right now. I'm sure they're watching on their phone or something. That's awesome. You can raise a bottle, Michael. That's cool with me. Oh, whatever works. My mama is going to be swigging a margarita tonight. I promise you that. I promise you that. So anniversaries, Mark and I had a big anniversary a couple years ago, big milestone one. And we went over to the Gulf Coast as well, to this absolutely beautiful little town called Ocean Springs. And it's past Biloxi and Gulfport, and almost to where you get to Pascagoula. And to me, it reminded me of like Carmel, California, but Southern. It was artistic and these sweet little houses and all these big live oaks and just gorgeous landscapes. And it's right there on the beach, no hills like Carmel, but and much more affordable than Carmel. So as you can imagine, we really enjoyed it. But we stayed at an Airbnb, and there's a fabulous Maziano's liquor store there. Really more on line of doing turn the cool down, and more in line of a bourbon place. But the guy has an unbelievable palate, so he does all these different picks. And lots of folks from Baton Rouge will go over there, make pilgrimage to go see what he's picked out. He's done a lot of Starlight picks as well. But they have a decent, more than a decent Scotch selection. And I wanted to get us something for our anniversary that was something that we could have, and that we could have, on anniversaries afterwards, maybe drink from time to time, but a special bottle. And I'd had my eye on the Glenmorangie Signet in this absolutely gorgeous bottle in this case, right? The fancier the bottle, usually the fancier the packaging. And looking at it, it weighs a ton, and the bottle is just so fabulous. I mean, and so let me get this. It is a little finagling to get it out of here. The top comes out first, and there we go. But yeah, so this bottle is so pretty, and of course, the insignia is that of the standing stone that's there, where Glenmorangie's distilled. So we wanted this bottle, and it is absolutely delightful. We got a really decent price. Some of these things can be kind of get out of hand, right? But if you have not had Signet, it's one of the ones that, and there aren't too many, I don't think, that have coffee malt or the chocolate malt. It's almost like an espresso smell and flavor on it. But I also get like a mocha thing going. So I get like a bittersweet chocolate. Man, big time. But like almost a coffee too. But the chocolate malt is I think they only do this like once a week, one week for the whole entire year. And then the maturation is bourbon and sherry and then virgin casks. So that whole Dr. Bill, I mean, he's like a mad scientist, right? And does so many different things. But this one in particular is one I had been looking for. And I think sometimes we get in our minds, oh, that's going to be the bottle and be so great. And then a bottle may disappoint. This bottle does not disappoint at all. It's it's not a cask strength. I think it's at 46. Shoot, where are my glasses? 46, 48, 46. Yeah. This 46 ABV, but it's got layers, and it just kind of keeps going on. So, but yeah, so, I'm going back in the chat, y'all. Thank you so much for all the well wishes. Oh, yeah. Oh, Donner, I'm so sorry. I'm just seeing this now. Oh, my goodness. Your kiddo chat. Oh, I'm so sorry about that. And that's really, I mean, that's tough, friend. I'm so sorry because our pets are our kids. Believe me, I got 3 loud catahoulas that you all hear from time to time. But man, you know what? I don't imagine that cat could have had any better life than it had with you. And so here's a cheers for one day seeing your kitten again, and thank you for sharing that with us tonight. And that's another part of that though, right? That whether it's a loved one or it's a pet that's just has been in your life for that long. I mean, some of our pets are in our lives longer than some of the people that are supposed to be. And you know and especially a pet because they love unconditionally, unlike some people. Um, but yeah, so sending lots of love and hugs, friend, because that's tough. But thanks again for sharing and letting us know about that. So tell me if you have had the signet. Um, yeah, and it's sometimes these celebratory bottles do get very pricey. When you think about its non-age statement and it's at 46% and it was just shy of $200, and I know it's a lot more in some places, and this was almost 3 years ago. So it could be, 10% higher to 15% higher than it was. But, mm, y'all, but it's really good. So it is, and I think, you've got that whole special occasion thing. It is not my everyday dram, right? It's not the one that I'm going to go to, like came home from work. I think I'll pour a signet tonight because I do want to keep this for a while. And it's been open 2 years. So that's another thing about how do you take care of, bottles that have been open. And maybe we can chat about that in a little bit. Um, so Donner says the signet is intriguing, but pretty expensive. Yeah. And that Tomatin is going to be releasing a chocolate malt distillate that they've been working on for years. It's promising and a reasonable price. Good old Tomatin, right? Oh man, that's really good to know. That's very good to know. Hey, Stuffer Work, glad you could be here. Martin, seriously? 270 now? Gee whiz. Ugh. Yeah. Uh, that's something. Um, so your son got you a bottle of Signet for Father's Day. That's lovely. A couple years back, and it's a beautiful bottle. It is a beautiful bottle. And this stopper. Hey Richie, good to see you, friend. Thanks for being here. This stopper, like you could hurt somebody with this. You could probably put somebody's eye out. I mean, this thing weighs a lot. This and Bladnock's top, that stopper, those could be used as a weapon if need be, for sure. Goodness, where to see? Okay, so Andrew tried the Signet, but not enough to buy a whole bottle. Yeah, is the native Rothschild 10-year-old cast strength. So I'm sure that you all get some things that we can't get over here in the States. That sounds very interesting. So stuff for work. This was your first special bottle. Interesting. Yeah. First big bottle you bought. I love that. Mine was a Glen Grant 18. I thought I was like really, I was like, man, and it really is still a big deal. I think a big bottle when you're working through your history, I mean, your journey of whiskey. It's kind of interesting the things that you buy that you almost wish you could go back and get now that you might be able to appreciate it a little bit better than you did when you bought it. There's a couple Glendronics that it was a batch 3 cast strength Glendronach and also a 19-year Glendronach I bought that I really wish I'd have just left until I figured out what I knew about whiskey. But I mean, I enjoyed them. So it's kind of a toss up, right? I don't know. That's kind of It's interesting. um, so Michael, you're asking what's the best whiskey with a twist on cap? Um, what there's a single malt thing that has like a twist. Well, like Highland Parks kind of do that, don't they? They have a cork, but then they have a twist. I know that Westlands do that as well. Um, I don't know. Interesting. Mm. So you've got weddings, engagement, a special bottle to give as a wedding gift or an engagement gift. That's an idea. Birth of a child, all kinds of things. Uh, so let's talk about birthdays. Birthdays are a big one. Um, I want to know. I want to know what you bought for yourself for what either you've gotten for a birthday gift or you've bought for yourself as a birthday gift. And I may have to have a little bit more of this. That's really good. So these new Scotch on the Bayou glasses, um, they're very wide at the base compared to a Glencairn. I'm still learning how to pour because if you pour to the width of the bowl, you're above the width of the bowl on a Glencairn. These things hold a little bit more. And then the surface is wider. The liquid surface is wider, so the alcohol dissipates faster. So I found that I can nose this glass and nose a Glencairn, and I'm going to get more alcohol off of that Glencairn, but still kind of get the same nose on it, if that makes sense. But I find like I'm like rationing my pours because I don't want to over pour myself. But then I get like I need some more. So that's the beauty of it. When you got the bottle, you can just pour you some more. Mm. Um, let's see. I wanted to go back. I saw some new names in here. We did get Mo. Good to see there. And Pitch Hitter Whiskey Lounge. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Um, glad you're here. You have to let me know what you're drinking tonight and what kind of bottle have you maybe purchased that you like to celebrate with, or have you bought a particular bottle in celebration of what? New job, maybe big promotion. We have great friends who live here in Louisiana now, but they used to live in Chicago, and he was in the spirits and the drinks industry for a long time, and he worked for Seagram's and Jim Beam. Dennis is his name, Dennis and Jane up in Chicago, and Dennis was a Chicago kind of guy, and is a Chicago kind of guy. And I was up there for work one day, and he came in and he goes, "Okay, either tonight we're gonna have whiskey or we're gonna have champagne. I'm up for a promotion." And at the time, I didn't drink whiskey, and I was like, "Ooh, I'm hoping for champagne. We all are, And so he came in that night and he's like, "Pop the bubbly," and I was like, "All right, So whether it's champagne or something else, the idea that you want to celebrate a big deal at work, a big project being done, something like that, that's really great." Um, so George is saying he's realizing how many more bottles there are out there that he's never had. It's like the infinity is to the moon and back, right? Oh goodness. Hey, Whiskey Nose. Good to see you, friend. Thanks for being here. I appreciate that. So Andrew says your two birthday drams were oh my goodness. A Highland Park, the Dragon 1961, and a Leche 42-year old Dushka. I'm going to say, I'm probably butchering that for sure. Wow. Okay. So, Andrew, great segue. Thank you for that. Because I think birthday drams are particularly interesting. I work with a guy, Joe, super smart guy, super nice guy. and he's turning the big 40 soon. And he's like, I want to try to find a whiskey that's as old as me. Well, for some of us, the ship has probably sailed. Although I would still be within the Highland Park version of that. Not the Lechic. I would not. um, but that is something, right? About maybe buying to your age in years of maturation. If you're 21, this is a great suggestion is a Glendronach 21 if you're 21. If you're 42, buy two. you know that's that would be the cheap way of going, because if you're 42 or if you're 40 years old and you start looking at buying a single malt that's been matured for that long, you're dropping a lot of money, a whole lot of money. And are you really going to get that much money's worth of enjoyment out of that dram compared to something else? So, oof, that would be a little tough for sure. A little tough. Goodness, but thanks for letting us know about that. Um, good night. So Donner said that for your birthday, you bought 4. Sounds good to me. First special bottles, years close together. A Longmorn 16. Bobbler 99. Vintage. Great idea. Old Pulteney 21. Yes, indeed. Santa Claus brought me one of those. And a Macallan second edition. Went a little crazy. We're all great after having just 10 and 13 years. There's splurges, right? It's not like you're going to go out there and shop for that every single day. Most of us can't do that and, make sure the lights are on and, there's gas in the car. Well, except Drew, he just needs electricity in the Tesla. But yeah, you do that, and you're not going to sit there and every one of those are you going to drink down immediately. You're going to ration those out. You probably share some of them and get even more, enjoyment out of it for sure. Hey, Steve A, thanks for being here, friend. That's awesome. Yeah, hit that like button, please. It helps. Molasses. Wow. You received a Glen going 25 for your retirement. That is lovely. What a great gesture. And I don't know who put what little bird told him what to buy, but you hit well there. You hit really well there. That's awesome. And congratulations on retirement. I hope you don't work as hard as Mark does in his retirement, because his honeydew list is very long. And I keep you really, really, really busy. Really busy. Richie Z. Yeah, that parliament you just can't go wrong with, right? And odds are the bottle that you bought had, whiskey in it older than the 21 years. Could very well be, depending on when you got it, for sure. Goodness. And I saw something pop up here. Not everything. Where did that go? I saw something big and green pop up on the chat here. Mark Broda, what did you do? Where is it? Hey, friend. I'm glad you're here. Yes, Mark Broda is he has been 2 months. How can I not get that online? That is so weird. It's not showing up to where I can show it. But Mark's been a Camp Drammer for 2 months now. Woohoo! Thanks, friend. If it ain't the best Cajun drammer in the world. Yeah, I'm a pseudo Cajun. I am not pure Cajun. I'm honorary Cajun. I have been told by Cajuns that I am an honorary Cajun. So I will take that for sure. But yeah, so this signet is absolutely lovely. So I want to move on to another dram that I have not had in a long time. Okay, and Martin, you're here. I think you have one of these if you've not drunk all of yours, because I'm pretty sure you did this as well. Speaking of Mo, Glengoyne from the sample room, certified and bottled from the sample room. So this bottle I blended. So you don't have to go buy the big bottle. It can be a bottle that's nostalgic or sentimental, right? And when I was last in Scotland, before I went to the academy, I went to Glengoyne and did the master blending class. And yeah, I can't read without these. So on October 19th, 2019, I blended this bottle. And it was 40%. Okay, wait a second. So when you go and do the blending class at Glengoyne, when you see the intro to the show tonight, you'll see there's a pan of all these, like this big case of whiskey and all this whiskey that's down on the table. That was the actual class I went to. And so you have 5 cask strength whiskeys and you taste each one and you kind of get an idea about how you want to do a blend. And then they put, a column tube in front of you with a funnel, and you're measuring to get what ratio you want for your bottle that you do. So mine was 20% refill hogshead from American and Spanish oak. And even down to the cask, the year it was done, 2014, and the number of the cask. I just love it. You get all the deets, First fill bourbon oak barrel was 20%. Then a first fill sherry American oak from a sherry puncheon, that was 30%. That was, and so this is 2019, and that was 19-year-old whiskey. It would been in since March of 2000. I was like, what? Then a first fill sherry puncheon light, so it was a lighter version, 10% of that, and then both European oak, and then 20% of a European oak puncheon sherry. So that is what this turned out to be. And I loved the bottle because it's the Glengoyne goose on there. I mean, y'all, I need to get a manicure. So I'm going to have some of this because Mark and I've locked in most all of our accommodations for our trip to Scotland. So that is something to celebrate. I'm buying the airplane tickets tomorrow. This is I should be going with all my dummy friends. We were to have gone in 2020, but of course the world went weird. So I'm going to pour some of this, and I have rationed this out, right? I mean, this is working on 4 years, 3.5 years. And I get it out every once in a while and get that cork good and wet. There's not enough air in there, I don't think, for it to dissipate. But this is something that I have great memories around this experience. So sometimes the whiskey doesn't have to cost a lot, the whole bottle. Sometimes it can be a sentimental thing. Maybe it's a bottle someone gifted to you, even the sample that someone gifted to you. So Chad Anderson gifted me and Jennifer bottles when we saw him up at Victoria. Now, if y'all did not see last week's show with us doing a recap of the Victoria Whiskey Festival, check that on the replay because it was the 4 of us, Terry, Chad, Jennifer, and me. My apologies, I didn't get to the chat very much because we were going 90 miles an hour and we went an hour and a half. But he gifted me one of the Glenfarclas family casks, a sample of that. I mean, that's not a bottle I'll ever see in the state of Louisiana unless it's in someone's collection, you know. But that's going to be a special thing that I share, and hopefully with him again in person, or in some other setting. I'll wait for that to be shared at a different time. Ooh wee. Glenn going and Sherry, yum. Let me check in and see what else y'all are looking at. And doing goodness. Everybody's talking about the screw top ones. So I love you, Mark Broda. Yeah, if you ain't a Camp Drammer, you better pony up and become one. Hit that like button while you're at it. Yeah, it would be. I would love for us. I think we're about 20 Camp Drammers now, which is awesome. And you get to use some fun emojis. And when I've got some videos coming out, some produced videos, you'll get to see them before they go out to everybody else. So, and thanks for all my Camp Drammers. You're gonna be able to see them because they show up here on the chat for sure. So George got a Lagavulin Distillers 1995 for the year your son was born, and opened it when he graduated from the university. Oh my gosh. How awesome is that? Oh man. That that's tremendous. I mean, that's a great way of looking at it. When we looked at those the Bob Blair vintages, um and I don't chase bottles, but I would like to snag if I could find that 1991 year that Mark and I got married. So yeah, a long time. We've been married a while, y'all. Um, I'd like to get that Bob Blair 1991 because that that would be one that would be like an anniversary dram as well. Um, Goodness, great. That's really sweet. Very, very sweet. Um, so Andrew's got Highland Park the year of his birth, in a 36-year cast. That's really nice. Yeah. So talking about ships sailing on birth years, yeah. 1966 Springbank local barley. Oh, yeah, thousands. Thousands. Yeah. Now I did buy a local barley 9-year-old for myself for a birthday gift a couple years ago. So that's really, really pretty good. Um, yeah, so this is my point, y'all. I mean, he shared a 20, it was a 21-year-old, but yeah, 63 bottle of the family cask. Yeah, $5,500. I don't care if it's Canadian or American. That's a lot of money. That's a lot of money. It for sure is. So Steve A managed to snag a 48 Gordon and MacPhail Glen Grant before your 46th birthday. Oh man. And get it for a drink of whiskey older than you. Yeah. That's amazing. So that comes to a point. Now I know the dummies were able to get like a 50-year-old Glen Grant, get a small, like the small sample size. Now, I mean, it was not cheap, but that's a perfect way to, if you could source that, it's a perfect way to be able to hit that whiskey older than me kind of thing for those of us who kind of over the hill just a little bit. I like to say I'm not over the hill. I'm picking up steam. I'm picking up speed as I go into the, you know, yeah, I'm picking up speed. That's my story. I'm sticking to it all day. But yeah, that's pretty interesting. Another source would be a grain. The older grains are a little bit more affordable, and that old, they should mellow out enough to where they don't taste as grainy. It kind of depends on what kind of maturation and how often they probably change that cask. So that's interesting for sure. Gosh, I want to see. I popped up another one. Oh, yeah. Hey, Daniel. Had a goal of drinking in 1965. Finally was gifted from a fellow Whiskey Academy classmate. Awesome. Kept the sample on your top shelf and wet my lips every birthday until it runs out. What a great ritual, right? Just having enough to taste, just to experience it. Bless the person who gifted it to you. I love it. I absolutely love it. Um, So, and then George looks at checking out SMWS outturns for a bottle distilled on your birthday. That's right. They do put the distillation date on there, don't they? Yeah. So let's talk about that for a second. So, my first trip to Scotland, I'm like, oh man, I've discovered, Scotch, like an explorer, and I've just come upon it. Write me up in a history book, right? Only to start looking at everything and that, like the magazine, I think it was United, was falling back, but they had an article about a Bamor that, no lie, was distilled on the day I came to the earth. Like, not only my birthday, but the birthday and year. And it was $35,000 a bottle. And I'm thinking, yeah, that ain't happening. That's not gonna happen. But how cool to win the lottery. That would be the first bottle I would buy. I would go find that bottle that was distilled on the day I was born, and I would make sure we all had some, because if I won a lottery, it would be only money, right? It's only money. Only money. Goodness. Um, so Martin, you youngin', you looking for something distilled in 1969. I bet we can find something. I don't know. Some dusty somewhere over in Scotland. Maybe there's hope. Maybe there's hope. So another a 62-year-old. Wow. It's amazing. Hey, Lynn. Hey, friend. Thanks for being here. I hope you're doing well. Let us know what you're drinking and what's your favorite celebratory dram. Okay, Andrew, you've done this too. So I'm drinking my own potion, if you will. It's my own Glengoyne blend that I did at the distillery. And it's all cast strength when you blend it. And I'm trying to remember what the ABV is. Oh, actually, I think we kind of determined that, didn't we? No. But this is definitely over 55 for sure. But I'm actually going to put I'm going to have one more sip, neat. Now, growing up in a Southern Baptist household, it's not like we had a lot of spirits or otherwise for holidays. But I have found, oh, wow, the nose got real bright with some water on it. I did pretty good, if I say so myself. Anyway, I digress. So holidays, another reason, maybe Thanksgiving, New Year's, of course, ringing the new year into a good, nice single malt to start the year off, right? That's a great reason to celebrate. So Jimmy Jazz did one too, y'all. I'm telling you, it's really very cool. They closed 2 days later. Yeah, that's tough. I don't know if you, Andrew, Martin, Jimmy, if y'all, when y'all did the class, how many were in there with you, but I ended up being by myself. Just like Bill was the guide who put me through the paces, and I was just like, I'm a kid in the candy store. I'm having so much fun. But yeah, if you ever get to that, I mean, it's not a cheap thing to do, but I learned so much. My class started, I don't know if y'all's did, but it started out with an olfactory test where you smelled 20 different things and had to just write, no multiple choice. You just top of mind, what do you think that smell was, And then when you got through that, then you were able to go through and smell the whiskeys and kind of try to get an idea of, and blending is more smelling than it is the taste. You kind of get the combination with your nose, and then you put it together and make sure it tastes right. But yeah, that was a fantastic experience. for sure. Um, and Donner was looking, let's see. Um, okay, well, that's pretty reasonable then. You know, Andrew's talking about that family cask that you can get from your birth year, and you can get a 25 milliliter, 40 pounds. That's probably about close to $50, 47, 45, $47 US. But it's to be able to experience that for, you know, instead of thousands, that's that's really what you're going for, right? Um, yeah, Martin, you need to go then. I don't know why. Okay, Daniel, it was you. Okay, I knew there was somebody else that went. That you went right before we went to Springbank, of course. Um, yeah. Ooh, I may have to do that. Yeah, you're doing it again in April. So yeah, I'll be over in June. To Campbelltown. Uh, we've got an epic trip coming up, y'all, this summer. Just epic. I'm getting so excited about it. And it's like so far away, yet only like 3.5 months away. And that's exciting and frightening all at the same time. Mm, 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 mm. Um, let's see. Yeah, I wish we could get that trip going again for sure. Um, man, it's been a long time since I've had some of this. I should maybe drink it a little bit more than every 4 years. Mm, it's still pretty hot with even some water on it. Broda, you're a mess. Good thing you didn't get that whiskey out when you visited here. I'd have doled out a little bit for you. That's for sure. Hey, Whiskey Franco, friend. Thanks for being here. Let me know what you're drinking and what you're celebrating. Um, Goodness gracious. Um, yeah, so Mark's got graduation this year. Lots of people are graduating. We've got my one of my best friends is graduating this year from LSU. I know. This will be her 7th degree. She will have more degrees from LSU than any other person that has ever been. Shout out to my friend Sharon, and she already has a PhD, and she's getting another master's degree. She's a lifelong learner, and so we're going to be having a big party right before I leave to go to Scotland. So that'll be a lot of fun for sure. Yes. Wouldn't it be cool to have us all down here at the camp? I don't know where we'd all sleep. It'd be like, well, I'd say would have Baptist pallets everywhere, but they might have to be Methodist because we're all going to be drinking too. But yeah, no water sleeping, but yeah, it would be awesome. I will make a funny um that there's another thing to celebrate because Harry Styles won 2 Grammys this Sunday. Woohoo! I know, y'all. I couldn't help it. Album of the year, pop vocal album. Slàinté, cheers, Harry. Here, this little sips for you. Mm-mm-mm. So yeah, Donner, 1991. It was a really good year. I picked well. I can't really say I really picked well because Mark puts up with a lot from me. I think y'all probably kind of get an idea about what my personality is like. This is all me. This is real. Ask Broda, ask um Martin, ask Zach, ask Drew. They all know this is it. All of it for sure. Goodness. So okay, Martin's on to the black art. Dude, what a beautiful nose. Dangerously drinkable. Yeah. Don't feel it palate truly appreciates. I don't know. I think I'd argue about that. Um, it's one of those things. You've come far enough to where when we ended up killing the 19-year Glendronach, I'm still kicking my butt for that because I think I would have appreciated it much differently now than I did when I was just starting my whiskey journey. But that's okay because there'll be another bottle that I can enjoy like that. Whiskey Franco has a little bit of that bottler 1991 left. Oh man, I heard great things about that. Actually, I have a small sample of it. I do. Um, Mike has been very gracious in giving, and he set me up with a great collection of bobblers that I'm going to be doing a show on. But that 91, I was like, that's a good vintage one to have for yearly celebrations for sure. Oh my goodness, yeah. I love the gator emojis there, George. Chomp chomp chomp. I love it. Um, It's no fun alligator proofing. You need to get there and wrestle them. Yeah, Broda can't. Mark Broda talked a big game about jumping in the water. There's too many. I think we saw like 20 that day we went out. So yeah, he'd be gator bait. We're not gonna let that happen. I'm scared of Kate. I don't want to make that phone call. No way, no way. You bought her birthday bottle tonight. Oh my word. Ah, a black art and 29 years. Oh my goodness. Because you're 29, right? Or 21. You're just 21. You're barely legal. That's fantastic. I bet you're gonna have to give us like a whole rundown once you decide to have that. And happy birthday. I don't know if it's today or it's coming up, but happy birthday, friend. And I'm so I'm so excited for that. Yeah, we're all gonna have FOMO. We're gonna have FOMO with that one for sure. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Yum. Oh, I bet that's gonna be fabulous. Mm-mm-mm. Um, yeah, he's Mark's acting days are over. I think my husband has been in a lot of movies. Um, Raging Cajun Redneck Gators. I dare y'all to look it up. He's an angry Cajun and he gets eaten by an alligator. Sorry for the spoiler. I should have given you an alert. But now he was in All the King's Men. He was in Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter. Yeah, he's been in a lot of different stuff. Really, really, very, very interesting things. Um, uh, so okay, this is a good point that Mo brings up on the miniatures. That 66 string bank, but be even worried more about the integrity. They're still $100, and you can buy a lot of modern springers for that money. Yeah, yeah, but I think if you buy one of those like for your birth year or something like that, it's a one and done. You did it. It's the one. It's the one time. Um, Man, goodness. So you think the oldest that you'd have is 40, that your dad had 40-year-old Glenn Grant. We could we might need to move into that neighborhood. Wow. That's really something. Um okay, Peter. 3 bottles of rye and a 14-year-old bourbon and traded them. Okay, I'm sorry. Are you the dude that gave Jack the beans? For the because that is a trade. Uh, wow, a 30-year-old Brora. Okay, wow, that's amazing, man. You might want to go to Vegas with those odds. Oh goodness. Okay, so Donner's got another a single grain 29-year-old. Okay. Um, aw, from the year the still of the month you met your wife. That's sweet. And $90. Yeah, you know. Um, to be able to get those grains, they're a little bit, less. They taste a little different, but it's kind of read some reviews, see what things are, and kind of go from there. It really is. So interesting that is 1 of 8, although also ratio. Oh yeah. In Dufftown Distillery, so you may be confusing with the 2 small group. Yeah. Gotcha. Okay. I need to know more about this then, Daniel. So looking for a certain year, Gordon and MacPhail does a bespoke. So, to order tastings, and you can request specific years and brands. So I met Richard Urquhart over at the Victoria Whiskey Festival, who is like over North American sales, I think, for Gordon and MacPhail, and just the things that they put together in that tasting, that is really interesting. I want to talk to you more about that. I've got all the accommodations down for our trip, booking tickets tomorrow, because we still have vouchers that we're having to deal with. So it's not just like buying them. You got to go talk to somebody and everything. Imagine talking to somebody nowadays to buy tickets. But then I'm going to go through and like hit the distilleries and figure out what I'm going to do where. I'm going to visit a lot more distilleries than I'm going to tour. Like, I'm not going to do the full tours on everything because you just don't have the time. But I've got trying to pace this out to where it's not, on and on. I want to enjoy it and have an actual vacation over there too. So, and I'm getting to know so many people that I've got to build in time for that too. So, but I really would like to know more about that. Goodness. Donna was saying the 91. Yeah, it was. That's really sweet. Look at all us. We picked right. It's hard enough to pick. Oh goodness. That's awesome. Very cool. So for your nephew's wedding, you gave him a 37, his age at the time of a Bunnahabhain. Oh wow. Oh, that's really cool. That's fine. You're 25 and still counting. Is that right? But who's counting? Okay. No. You're spring chicken. Oh, that's okay. I got well-made shoes older than 25. It's all good. It's all good. Yeah. Well, this has been fun. This has really been fun, guys. Yeah, on the itinerary, almost. I am going to post it though. And I'm going over for a week, and then Mark's coming over for almost 2 weeks. So it's I haven't told work yet. But yeah, so it's the last week. It's like Memorial Day weekend through mid-June. And our anniversary is June 15th. So we'll be coming back and probably sleeping on our anniversary to get over jet lag. How romantic, right? But yeah, no, it's going to be a lot of fun. I'm excited now that I kind of figure out, like, I feel like I know where things are and what I want to go see based on what some of my favorite brands are. And so we're going to do that. But yeah, so we've got coming up again. I want to thank everyone, all the Camp Drammers, all the supporters. Every time you hit a like, every time you subscribe, anytime you can hit, the notification, all that kind of stuff. You got a whiskey buddy that wants to learn more, shoot them a link to the site. We just hit 1,251 subscribers, which is a big deal, y'all. I'm not quite 2 years into this and had some fits and starts because of technology and some things like that. And y'all have hung around, and we're building a great little group of friends here. And I really appreciate you spending those Tuesday nights with me. Next week, we are going to be doing a Valentine's themed wine matured expressions. So, everybody thinks about having wine with their Valentine. Well, the Valentine's going to be in the glass, and it's going to be different types of wine maturation. So not necessarily sherry, some other things that we have out there. So think about that this week and what you might want to pour next Tuesday. if you're available. Some of us again have been married so long that we can be available, if you know what I mean. I'm hoping Mark cooks steak next week. Hey, honey, you're on notice. But before next Tuesday is Sunday. And before halftime, we'll be over on Stacy's channel, Four Leaf Whiskey, going through this dirt grain flight of these historic Irish brands, Irish recipes and mash bills. So that's going to be really pretty excited about that. But yeah, I'm really stoked about what's coming up with that. Mardi Gras is after that. So we're going to be celebrating all February for sure. But yeah, have a great one, y'all. And I was just going to try to think if there was one other thing I was thinking of. Just be well to yourself, get through your week, be good to yourself, and we'll have fun when we all get back. Celebrate every day because it's not guaranteed. Tell those friends that you love them, your family that you love them, and I'll see you again next week right here. Slàinté, y'all.